Hello guys, Survive Live. So continuing the trend, we're gonna be getting all these done. So here we have my MLT games versus Zugu. Played this maybe like 5 days ago, a little bit more than that. But yeah, it's still fresh in my head, so I feel like it'd be easy enough for me to commentate it. So I decided on bringing Poison because it had really good matchup versus stuff that he uses. And I changed the Nihilego to Gengar because I felt like if he brought like flying, it would be like Zatu flying or something like that. And Gengar would still be good versus that. And Gengar was just good versus like his psychic teams, which I was trying to nail by using Gengar over Nihilego. I was really wish I had a Nihilego, but I think I probably lost even if I did, because as you'll see later on, this Gliscor is actually Stall Breaker, like Taunt knockoff, that one. And even though I can kind of beat that down with Venusaur, he can pressure stall me, and then if I'm not like bulking Nido, then the game kind of ends because I can't really pressure the Gliscor like this. I can't pressure his defensive core with just Venusaur. So let's just get right into it. I'm gonna lead off my Nido because I can Ice Beam the Landorus turn 1 if he chooses to lead off with that. The Earthquake crits me, which doesn't really, it's annoying, but I not crit him. He reveals that he's Yachi Berry, so at this point I was pretty sure I lost, because I was fairly certain that if this was Yachi Berry Stealth Rocks or something like that, which he shows right here, then if this is Rocks, what is the Gliscor? And I was fairly certain it might be Stallbreaker. I was hoping to be like SD or something, so now I can actually like play around it. Actually, if it was SD, it was really bad if it was SD as well. So I'm gonna Giga Drain so he can't roost. He can't roost on me or taunt, whatever. Goes into Celesteela as I get up Elite Seed, and then I think I pivot into Toxapex, yeah, because it takes anything that he wants to go for as he goes into Gliscor, and I think here's when he reveals Taunt. I think, right? Yeah, so here's the problem, right? This thing beats down a ton of my team. My only check is Venusaur, but I can't actually roost on this thing with my Crobat, and it's my only check to Earthquake. So, and he also has Bandit D9 in the back, so like, I was pretty sure I lost this. Like, there's nothing I can really do, and I was talking to my friend Shady, and he was telling me that Zugu might do this, like, because I did a scouting on him, and he might just bring the teams that I thought were good versus him versus me or something. And he ended up bringing Stall Flying. Not a good one, honestly. Dragonite's pretty bad. I mean, it's good for priority, but it doesn't really offer anything defensively, besides for like a water check, where Mantine already does that. Yeah, it doesn't really do too much, but it's just good. It's so good in this matchup that it doesn't matter if its team is flawed. Yeah, so I go into Venusaur on the taunt, and as he gets me, and then here it's like just clicking button. Like I'm just skipping through a little bit because it kind of doesn't matter. I'm trying to make some predictions, but it doesn't matter because he can keep me low. The Earthquakes as I Giga Drain. He can't roost on me, but he's getting all that poison heal back. He can just pivot into Celesteela and the Giga Drain, fire off some heavy slams or whatever. I'm trying to play around it. But eventually, like, I'm going to lose. Like, he can beat my Toxapex 1v1 because Skull does dog shit damage. I go into my Crobat to try and, like, I don't know, defog these rocks away, but he can just knock me off. Then he can Earthquake, as you see right there, and like prevents the roost. I try and pivot it back to my Crobat, hoping maybe switch or something, I can get the recovery on Crobat, but nope. So now I'm just thinking, okay, if I can just switch around, maybe I can stall this Gliscor out, because that's the only way I'm going to beat it, because I can Giga Drain up, but then he can just go into Zapdos and pressure stall me, as he does right here. And I don't actually have Sludge Bomb, so I can't really pressure Zapdos really at all. I try and go into my Gengar, hoping that maybe I could knock it like Discharge Parried, and I could get the trick off on it, or on something at least. But he parries me, so it's like, it's looking really grim. But going to my Nido, I was expecting him to be like sub-toxic, and I can get my rocks up and try and gain some kind of momentum. But it reveals that he's Discharge Heat Wave, And yeah, it's just looking really bad. Like, he powers my Toxpex too. I go into my Venusaur. I think he powers this as well. Goes into Mantine, he can just defog. I think I Pursuit here. No, I knock him off because I know he's gonna defog. Reveals that he's Wakanberry as well. I think I Pursuit. Did I Pursuit yet? No, I Pursued it here. And then I think I Pursued it again. Yeah. But I still didn't kill, which is unfortunate. So in comes Gliscor, and yeah, pivots into his Landorus on, I think, my Venusaur, yeah. I go into my Crobat to try and dodge an Earthquake as he gets up his rocks. I Brave Bird, try and get off some type of damage. I know he had Stone Edge, but like, I have to dodge because I can't Roost on this, and I can't defog or else I lose my Crobat. So I had to dodge here and then try and defog on something else coming in, as he killed me with Stone Edge. So here it was just over. Like, I could not win. Even if I had no Lego, it would have been really tough. So that's game 1. I hope this is game 2. This is game 2, right? Yeah, so I lost game 1. So this is game 2, Fairy versus Fairy. I usually win my Fairy Dittos. I'm really, really solid in Fairy Dittos. I don't know why. I just know what to preserve and how to play, like, my walls and stuff. So let's just get right into it. I'm gonna lead off my Bulu. It's my lead always versus Fairy because it leads off well versus Coco, and I can get immediate damage on his Klefki. If it leads off with his Klefki, I can pivot into my Tapu Koko and then get free damage. I literally make those series of plays all the time. So I double. I'm not sure why I doubled. I probably should have just Vault Switched. I'm not sure why I didn't actually Vault Switch, but he crits my Klefki here, and that was just so big. Losing my Klefki means that I have no switch into his Tapu Bulu, and the Wincon in this matchup is literally Tapu Bulu, and my Bulu doesn't beat his unless his is Scarf, and even then, without my screens to buffer that damage, it's really tough for me to win. So I go into my Bulu on his expected like Earth Power, Moonblast type deal. As he switches out, I'm gonna go for the Horn Leash, just try and get some recovery back. And then I think here I go into my Klefki. No, I go into my Diancie because I don't want him getting up hazards at all, and I can just Mega here. As he goes out into his Tapu Bulu, I'm just gonna fire off a Moonblast, and I crit him. Oh my gosh! Thank God for this crit. Like, whew. This crit pretty much gave me the game right here. So now let me explain. In this matchup, as I said, Tapu Bulu is the Wincon. Your only switch into Tapu Bulu is your own Klefki. And once Klefki gets too whittled, then you basically lose. And if Bulu dies as well, Azumarill can also sweep because it does outspeed and can Aqua Jet. The Klefki can play rough this. If there's a speed tie, Aqua Jet, play rough. But yeah, Azumarill has a really good shot at winning. My Bulu can click Horn Leech as well. Like, killing this literally, like the crit on my Klefki made it really difficult for me, but this crit right here gave me the entire game. So he's gonna go into his Azumarill. I'm gonna go into my Bulu because I can take any hit that he wants to go for and heal anything back. I could have actually went into Clef there as well, but I thought this was fine. He knocks me off. I'm just going to Horn Leech on his Clefable. Gonna go into my Diancie because I do not want him getting up rocks. Also, Light Screen is up, so I'm fine. I can just Moonblast this thing twice. He doesn't have good switches to Moonblast, and I just need to weaken his Klefki. So he goes on to Azumarill as I Moonblast again. I'm gonna go into my Clef now because I don't really need Clef. Besides, I'm probably gonna just sack to Azumarill if anything. So he brings in Klefki. I go into my Coco because I don't want to risk any type of Thunder Wave as he showed, and I am Calm Mind because I was trying to counter team his stall flying. So I made this thing Calm Mind so I could just win. So I can just Calm Mind up. This thing dominates him, so I can just keep Calm Minding up as he Thunderbolts. Does 17%. I probably could have Calm Mind to like +6 and just 6-0. Now looking at it, cause here I roosted. Right? He thunderbolts, he crits me, and then I roost. I think I could have calm minded. Oh yeah, that's why. Cause he taunted me. Or else I would have went for like +6 on him and just swept. So I knock him out there. He goes into his Klefki. Free T-Bolt here for me. Now I can just Thunderbolt again. Knock out the Clefable. I think he goes into his Diancie. And I did calc this. I don't actually kill, but the damage is damage. And I can will my Azumarill anyway. So I knock out his Diancie there. I mean, I don't knock it out. I do loads of damage with Thunderbolt. And then I can go into my Azumarill. Just Belly Drum here on his Diancie. And that's game because I can just Aqua Jet sweep. So that was game 2. I don't know. He was saying that I robbed him. Like in the chat. Yeah, I can't find it right now. But he's saying that I robbed him. The crit definitely mattered. But he also did crit my Klefki. So you can't really justify hacks with hacks, if I'm being honest. It's just a shitty game that none of us could do anything about. That's game 2. And this is game 3. So I knew he might bring the flying or something to counter team my water bring or something. So I felt like ground would be super cool versus him, and it actually worked out. So let's just get right into it. Matchup's super hard in my favor. I have abandoned Mamoswine, and as we saw from the other game, this isn't a Scarfer, so literally Mamoswine outspeeds this, isn't touched by this, beats down this, beats down everything. Gravity obviously dominates him as well. So yeah, lead off with my Garchomp as it leads over Dragonite. I could have Dragoniumed here straight up, but I wasn't really sure what the role. I know it kills offensive Dragonite, but if he's not, I'm going to lose my Chomp for no reason. So I'm going to go into my Hippowdon here, expecting him to attack of some sort, and I can just pop my Eject button and break his multi-scale. I just Ice Shard. There's no reason for me to predict at this point, as he does expect me to predict, and I can just knock out his Dragonite there. In comes his Landorus. I'm not going to risk the Ice Shard here because I know he's Yachi already. Going to go into my Landorus because I can set up a Gravity as he goes on to Celesteela. Do not want to risk the HP Ice or anything like that. And go into my Toad and knock him off. As it reveals he's a Protect set, so it's not really anything I have to worry about. I can go out to my Hippowdon, try and get my rocks up as he pivots out into his Zapdos here. I think here I just slack off because I wanted to actually have my Hippowdon for the rest of the game. Yeah. And then I think here I go for rocks as he goes into his Mantine. I'm pretty sure is what happens. Yeah, he brings in his Mantine. I'm just going to get rocks. I'm trying to force the defog. I can just go into my Garchomp here because I can take a Scald if he wants to go for that. And I can just SD. I was predicting him to just defog immediately, but I can go into my Garchomp, SD up as he goes for another Scald. Does not get the burn, unfortunately. And then he gets mad because, like, he doesn't get a burn. But that's like, I mean, he was going for hacks. Like, he's complaining about hacks with him not getting hacks. So that doesn't make any sense to me. So I'm just going to fire off the Dragonium here because I get a kill. I can Fire Fang the Celesteela afterward anyway. In comes the Landorus. We already know he's some offensive set with Yachi for some reason on a stall team. I can kill that with the +1 Outrage. In comes the Celesteela. I'm forced Outrage again as he does go for the Leech Seed. And here I think I just sack my Garchomp with the Fire Fang. Well, he protects, and I burn the last thing. And I think I just Fire Fang here as he gets the confusion. I just lose my Chomp. So into my Landorus we go. I'm going to click Gravity, kind of get my kills. As he goes into his Mantine, I'm just going to click Earth Power in case he doesn't want to Roost Stall as he tries to defog immediately. So down goes the Mantine. And at this point, the game's basically over because I can Earth Power the Celesteela. Even if he Protect stalls it out, I can Gravity again and then click Earthquake with my Excadrill even, or my Mamoswine. So yeah, just Gravity again, kill the Celesteela, and then kill the Zapdos. So GG's versus Zugu. Pretty hacksy game 2 in my opinion. In game 1, like in my opinion, it was like third game I blew him away with matchup. Game 1 he blew me away with matchup. Game 2 was just hacks. So like, I don't know. We managed to pull through. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys with my next opponent, which is Bits. Because after this game, Bit was sitting comfortably in winners bracket, and all I had to do was beat him, and I win the entire tournament. So looking forward to that, and I'll see you guys next time.